as a critic of capitalism, most of my life, I have had to be pretty much on the edge of what's allowable to be said. It's clear to me that over the last 6 years, there has been a radical change. It is now possible to question capitalism, to criticize. The very word capitalism appears in the language of people. A day or two ago in the New York Times was an op-ed that really amazed me by a professor from Arizona explaining that the climate crisis, the fault of that is capitalism, writing it as if it were the most natural thought one could have, which it is indeed. Tell me whether you see it that way and how it might be, to take your metaphor, the development of a discourse like the one against trusts and monopolies. Do you see that emerging as a possible vehicle for change?
Well, I think we have a way to go. I mean, you are right that there's been a shift. I mean, there's no question. You Google capitalism, it's one of the most Googled words in the dictionary these days. You have moved to the center, whether you like it or not. But in terms of our media, our most influential media, I would say, still will cover the personal before the political and will still cover the idiosyncratic before the systemic. So we will still hear about flaws in the system, not about the system being flawed. So if you can find the channel or the show that is really doing, hard-cutting analysis of capitalism and how it operates, I'll take you out for a drink. I don't see it every night or anywhere close to that on television.
But that would then mean a gap between mainstream and other.
Absolutely.
And you and I are clearly other.
And what is exciting is that there's company. And in the same way that the form is failing to serve everybody, the industry is failing to serve everybody. There is corporate failure in areas of the country where there is not enough population to justify the big box stores going in. So too in television, or radio or the internet, where there's not enough population to justify the big cable companies or the big broadband companies going in. They're just not serving the people. So whether you're talking, Rust Belt, Detroit, just outside the city center, people are still on dial-up. 70% of school kids. Appalachia, the Southeast, rural regions without enough people. Corporate failure means they're not getting the broadband that they need to keep people in the community. And what's happening, communities are responding by creating their own municipal broadband. So too with the conversation, I think. There's failure to discuss the things that people want discussed. And I think that's where your show's coming in, my show's coming in. I wrote a long piece for the Next Systems Project not so long ago. You can find it at nextsystem.net, I think, saying, okay, well, what media demands are we going to make? What are our social movement demands of our media structures? And what might we imagine as, if you will, worker-determined media enterprises? Because absolutely there's a gap.